Welcome to the Prophecy Club. Our topic today is Trump just started it. What am I talking about? I'm talking about the internal revolution. I'm going to bring you some important information today. But before I do, if you can help support Prophecy Club now, would be a really good time. That way, I'm not going to wait till the bottom of the barrel when it's an emergency. We're about to go into the red. So I'm just asking for ongoing, everyday support. And hopefully, I don't have to ask too often. I hate asking. I wish it would just come in. As a matter of fact, that's one of the things that got me down last week, going to this church and seeing how this church has oodles and oodles of money. And I'm wondering, why can't Prophecy Club have those $1 million donations? Why can't we have that kind of money coming in? Anyway, on to the rest of the program. Okay, so I'd like to be able to tell you that I was looking for this. I remember this, but I actually didn't. I was looking for another dream, and I was popping through the dreams, and all of a sudden I saw this one, and the Lord nudged my heart. And sure enough, I think this dream is now in progress. This happened in 2004. So before I was going to sleep, I asked the Lord, what is the next piece of the end time puzzle? That night I had a dream that the news media was reporting major disagreements between the United States and Russia, like what we'd heard before the start of Desert Storm and Operation Iraqi Freedom. There were open words of hostility between the United States and Russia. We've had open words toward Russia, but Russia has not spoken open words of attack against America yet. At least not as bad as I think it's about to get. God did not tell me what was causing the disagreement, only was shown that there will be hostile feelings from America toward Russia, and likewise Russia toward America. I could see this was the start of the internal revolution prophesied by the angel Gabriel to Dmitri Duduman. I could see this is how the internal revolution will begin. Okay, now, this next part is really telling. When I saw it on TV, starting to boil between the two nations, my first thought was to take out large ads in newspapers. In other words, I'm trying to tell the people. In my dream, I was trying to formulate the headline, and I saw a giant black 2-inch tall letters that said, it will start with an internal revolution. Then the subheadline was, in America, some of the people will start fighting. Okay, are we seeing some of the people start fighting? Yes, we are. Trump had to call out 2,000 and then to up to 4,000 National Guard in California. There was some 1,800 cities that were supposed to be having no kings protests. And then there's people that are throwing rocks at, and now just 2 days ago out in California when they arrested 335 people at a marijuana plant in California, that there was someone shooting at the ICE officers. Trump has now come out and said that the ICE officers can do anything they want to do to stop them. Isn't that an internal revolution? Okay, when some of the people start fighting against the ICE officers, some of the people start fighting against the government ICE officers. Hasn't it really started? Well, it has, but will it grow bigger? Will it grow to the point to where some of the people start fighting against the government so bad that the Russians see their opportunity to attack? Or is it that the Russians see their opportunity to attack, and that just happens to be the time when some of the people are fighting against the government? Okay, which one come first? Maybe both of them together. I felt helpless, like I was too late, like no one was listening. Yeah, I understand. Even though it was happening, I prayed many times that people would begin to believe once they saw that what the prophets said was beginning to come to pass. I had the feeling that not enough support had come in to get this message out in time. Now, that was in 2004. Here we are, 21 years later, and this appears to be coming to pass. Those who are informed will recognize this start. Yeah, I think that's probably the truth. Now, let me refresh your memory. I've covered this many, many times, but in case we have someone watching that has not seen it, this is very important. What Dmitri Duduman was told August 3rd, 1984, when he arrived from Romania, when the angel arrived to speak to him that night, first night here in America, He was told that the fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America started by the communists. Some of the people will start fighting against the government. The government will be busy with internal problems. Then from the oceans, Russia, Cuba, Nicaragua, Central America, Mexico, and two of the countries will attack and defeat America. I now think this is the way it will word. The fall of America will start with an internal revolution in America, overthrowing the Trump administration in the America started by the communists. Some of the communists will start fighting against the Trump government, ICE officers, okay? The Trump government will be busy with internal problems. Then Russia attacks. Oh, there's more. So if you look at the date, this is July 15th, Senator Lindsey Graham, which I think is a warmonger, threatens to strike Russia directly. So this was posted on his X, and it says, announcement yesterday about sending American-made weapons paid for by the Europeans to Ukraine through NATO was welcome news. No, it's not. I think America needs to walk away from Ukraine and say it's your problem. We are not going to send you any more help. Kiss and make up with the Russians. Equally important was his statement that if fighting had not ended in 50 days, this is Trump talking, he would impose 100% tariffs on countries buying cheap Russian oil, propping up Putin's war machine, hitting Putin where it hurts the most. Yeah. Okay, well, that's bad enough. I mean, some countries could call that an act of war, especially if you have hypersonic weapons. If Putin and others are wondering what happens on day 51, I would suggest they call the Ayatollah. So what Lindsey is really doing is threatening to say, if you don't stop this war in 50 days, Trump is going to hit you with some kind of a bomb. That's what it's saying. And if I were a country buying cheap Russian oil, propping up Russia's war machines, I would take President Trump at his word. Is that a threat? Well, it doesn't matter to us what we think. What matters is the Russians. The Russians think that America has been attacking them for probably since World War II. They see it differently. Remember, Henry Ford said, if there is any one secret to success, it lies in the ability to see things from the other person's point of view and to get to that person's point of view. If we could get to the Russians' point of view, I think we would begin to change our mind about something. Okay, on to the next one. Further confirmation. Trump talks tough on peace to Putin. 100% secondary tariffs in 50 days. Trading partners, if they're buying oil from Russia in 50 days, if there's no peace agreement, all of a sudden tariffs to Russia and to their oil purchasing partners go to 100% as far as America. Now, what's that going to do? Yes, it will basically force Russia, if they want to continue to sell their oil, to do something about the war. But it also might anger the Russians to just go ahead and attack. Stan, do you think Russia's going to attack America even this year? Well, we haven't seen any of the prophecies. Remember, Omar ushers in Palestinian state, catastrophe hits America. We haven't seen any of those. We haven't seen an Israel and America war against the Arabs. We haven't seen that. So I don't think it's coming. But this is big news. Should they take effect on September the 2nd, 50 days from Monday, they aren't meant to put more pressure. They are meant to put more pressure on Moscow. Now, let me explain something. This is the chart that is in the back of my book, Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. If you haven't got the book, you do want to get it. Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. You'll get it at prophecyclub.com. Now, one is $50, but don't do that. They come in shrink wrap set. Well, here we go. They come in a shrink wrap set like this. Wasn't prepared to show you. Shrink wrap set of 5 for $35. That's what you want to get. You want to get a whole set of them. Now, on to my point. So, this is my understanding of a new book I've written. This is the way it really happens. In other words, when the bombs from the Russians come down we go up in the rapture to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Here's the way it is on that chart. So, Jesus returns the next time, bottom left corner in the yellow first fruits. He walks around with 144,000 for 50 days, exactly 50 days. On Pentecost, then that is when the Russians attack us. I mean, I know. That's my prediction. That's when the Russians attack, on some future Pentecost. When the bombs come down, we go up. Okay, got it? When the bombs come down, we go up to go to the marriage. The name of the book is Pentecost Rapture of the Bride. That's the way it happens. I know that's a very, very big change because I've been post-trib for 25 years now. But he showed me different, so I'm going to bring you different. It's not about who's right or wrong. What matters is what's the truth. So I found that truth, so that's what I'm going to put out. Okay, Pentecost Rapture of the Bride. Then we go to the marriage supper of the Lamb. The marriage supper of the Lamb lasts for about 4 months. Then we return with Jesus on white horses for Armageddon. Got it? Okay. Right here. Russia bombs. Back up, hit the right button. We go to the marriage supper of the Lamb. Marriage supper of the Lamb lasts 4 months. Then we return with him here to get our glorified body and all of our rewards, our crowns, our mantles, whatever it is, where we're going to get. Okay, on to the next one. Now, I'm not going to read all this because I read all of this in yesterday's program. But this is from Michael Snyder, and he's saying that he had a dream back in February that Trump should not anger the Russians or it's going to backfire. Now, you can pause and read all of it. He didn't get it yesterday, but I'm going to move on. Here's the point I want to make. He says, we have a very limited window of opportunity to make peace with the Russians, and we are totally blowing it. I agree. In February, I specifically warned that President Trump must not resort to threatening the Russians, That's what he just did. Over the war in Ukraine, because it would backfire severely. Now, God didn't tell us what, but if you want to assume the worst, it probably means that the bomb date or the destruction of America may be moved up. I don't think it will be, but it could be some really, really bad things happen between now and then. Okay, now on to the next one. I'm only going to read the part I've circled here. Trump said the United States would put secondary tariffs on the countries that do business with Russia if the peace deal is not reached in 50 days. We've covered that. And Mr. Trump said the Oval Office, alongside NATO General Mark Rutte, says there will be a 100% tariff on Russia and the nations buying the Russian oil after 50 days if it hasn't come to an end. That's a threat. That's a problem. He should not be doing that. In addition, U.S. is also selling approximately $10 billion, that's a lot, $10 billion in weapons to Ukraine, and European Union is paying for it. That's a problem because Russia has said many times, if there is an American weapon that lands on Russian soil and kills Russians, then that will involve America in the war, and at that point, we can start and we will start targeting American assets. One time he even said, those beyond the pool or those beyond the ocean, however he worded it. Let's go on. Germany, Finland, Denmark, Sweden, Norway are all going to be involved. Netherlands, Canada, all going to be involved in helping Russia get these weapons. What does that mean? That means that those nations, if an American weapon winds up killing a Russian in Russian territory, all of those nations can then be targeted. So, I mean, this could be a big war. Now, I'm going to skip this. You can pause and read it if you want to. I read it yesterday. And these weapons can strike Moscow. I'm going to skip this too. You can read it if you want to. I just want to read the parts I've circled. If another country launched long-range missiles at Washington, D.C. and New York City, what would we do? What would we do? We wouldn't put up with it. We would hit them. And in the case of Russians, they have, well, I'll cover that. They're bigger and more powerful in a lot of ways in military. So here's some more bad news. 50 days from July the 14th, which was when the threat was issued, is August the 3rd. So, what's August the 3rd? It happens to be Tish B'Av, or the 9th of Av, and it is the death day in Jewish history. Tish B'Av has been a day of mourning in Judaism, primarily commemorating the destruction of the first temple and the second temple and many of the tragedies. In other words, it's a bad day. Now, you may be saying, yeah, well, that's for Judaism. We're not Judaism. No, but we're Christianity, and it may very well be that some of the things that bless the Jews, that bless us, may also be some of the things that curse the Jews, curse us, okay? We must fast. This is what I said in our Fast Track last night. This is word for word, right out of Fast Track. So if you want to know what we do in Fast Track, this is what we do. We must fast and pray. This does not anger Putin and the Russians. The Russians have a superior military in several ways. This is just off the top of my head. They have the black hole. That's what they call them, submarines, which are so quiet we can't detect them. The Red October was the first of such submarines built by the Russians. They have hypersonic, ballistic, nuclear-tipped, multiple reentry vehicle warheads. What's that? It means that there's one missile that goes up that we can't stop. It's hypersonic, like, 22 times the speed of sound, okay? It goes up. But then when it gets close, all of a sudden there's not one missile there. They come out with like 8 different warheads, and they go to 8 different cities from one missile. And I don't know how many of those missiles are on a submarine. I think it's in the ballpark of like 18 or 20 or 22 or something like that. So it means one submarine parked on our beaches could destroy the West Coast or the East Coast or all of Texas. Okay, let's go on. The multiple reentry vehicles can carry up to 8 city-killing nuclear warheads each, and that's just from my memory, maybe a different number. Just one Russian submarine can park on the beaches to destroy half of America. Russia boasts of having some 8,000 nuclear warheads. Russia possesses a large submarine fleet of 64 to 65 submarines. Dmitry Dun was told Russia would destroy America from the oceans in 1 hour. God has given Russia all of these abilities. Why? Because as we've fallen apart, he's prepared the nation to take us down. Trump angering Putin and Russian bear only moves the timetable closer, not further away. The only way that we can fight this is to fast and pray. Fast and pray that Trump does not anger the Russians by fasted prayer. So here's what I'm going to ask you to do. I'm going to ask you to go to prophecyclub.com. You want to order these books while you're there. Then slide to the bottom. This is what it looks like, except over on the left side, the part in the blue, that's Fast Track. The part in the yellow is Fast Gap. What's the difference? Well, I recommend you sign up for both of them. Fast Track is praying for Prophecy Club and everything Prophecy is going to do, the Prophecy Club, the sports stadiums, the thousands upon thousands of souls it's going to give us. That also includes oil in Israel and everything else. And then Fast Gap is those people who want to pray specifically for America. And here's my guarantee. Here's the way it works. Every Tuesday night, from me directly to you, I send you an email saying this is what's going on, and this is the fast, this is the prayer that I'm asking you to do for the next number of hours. The fast starts midnight Tuesday night, and it winds up 4 p.m. Wednesday. That's not hard. We ask you to still take your meds. Don't hurt yourself. Matter of fact, I'm fasting right now. It's 3:24 p.m., so I'll end my fast at 4 p.m. here in another 40-some-odd minutes. You can have coffee, juice, whatever, but we just ask you not to have any solid food. You can quit anytime you want to, quit anytime you want to. And my promise is this, that I never send product offers and I never ask for donations. This is only for people that want to fast and pray for either Prophecy Club or for America. I recommend you go. We have about 1,500 people fasting and praying for Prophecy Club. And Fast Gap is newer. We have about 850 people fasting and praying for American Fast Gap. Recommend you go, prophecyclub.com. So, If you can help Prophecy Club, that would be a very good thing to do. Hello, I'm Stan.
And I'm Leslie Johnson.
And we want to invite you to the PHD, the Prophecy, Healing, and Deliverance Conference.
So I hope you'll come from September the 11th through the 14th.
We have 6 seasoned ministers, 10 sessions, 2.5 days. I'm going to be speaking on Mark of the Beast, dangers of AI, and the new timing of the rapture.
And I'll be speaking on how to get ahead spiritually, close those spiritual doors, and the role of the prophet.
Lou and Sunhee Deliverance Ministries are going to be speaking on healing childhood experiences, what is eating you, spirit of infirmity, and yes, they will be doing deliverances.
Yes. And then Pastor Kate and Jonathan will be speaking on relationships.
It's limited to 100 registrations, so go to prophecyclub.com, get signed up, or
traintheprophets.com. We hope to see you there.
Okay, the very best offer we have ever had of the Prophecy Club is 40 books for a gift of $100. That is How Pre-Trib Won, Tribulation Secrets in Daniel, God's Warnings to America, Miss the Mark, and The Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy. I'll explain. As I've said many times in 2017, I memorized the book of Revelation. I got 30 revelations, 2 visions, and an audible voice. God showed me a secret door, the word first fruits, which is found in Leviticus and also Revelation, that links the feasts to the prophecies of Revelation. And perhaps for the first time, Revelation can be understood. One prophetic word said, there's a lock. I put over a word in the book of Revelation. I'm going to open it to you. It will turn many books written on the end time message into obsolete books. That's this book. Secondly, I put together a collection of the very best prophecies from 32 years in Bible prophecy: Dimitri Duduman, Michael Boldale, Leslie Johnson, Henry Groover, Shane Warren, Terry Bennett, Maurice Sklar, Augusto Perez, Doug Metzger, Bree Keaton, and more in God's Warnings to America. Also, how do you talk to people about the mark of the beast, especially if they worship another god? Well, simple way is give them this book. It's a quick read, takes about 3 hours to read it. But if they'll read 2 or 3 pages, they'll probably read the book. And if they read the book, they will never take the mark of the beast. It explains both the mark of the beast and also the number of the name, and it has these pictures in the book. Finally, How Pre-Trib Won. This book explains the truth about the rapture. It gives 4 foundations for the real truth about the rapture. It also answers 25 pre-trib questions, 1 for $20, each one of these typically, but don't do that. We offer them in shrink-wrap sets. The very best deal is go to prophecyclub.com and get the entire 40-book set for $100. I didn't cover every verse in the book of Daniel, didn't need to. I just covered the verses that has to do with us end-time saints. And it's called Tribulation Secrets in Daniel, 1 for $20, 10 for $30, 20 for $50 at prophecyclub.com. If you don't want to lose your life's savings, if you have an IRA or a 401k, the thing to do is call 800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. These folks are Christians, and they specialize in helping people not lose their life savings in the event of a stock market crash and things like that. Look, most of the 401ks, most of the IRAs are in paper, backed by paper. And as Lindsey Williams says, if it's in paper, it's worth the paper it's written on. You can lose it all. 1-800-200-GOLD. 800-200-GOLD. Hey, give them a call. Doesn't hurt. Doesn't cost you anything. See if they can give you some good advice. In 2021, I started making bread. And long story short is I believe God showed me that wheat is God's famine food, just like it was famine food back in the 7 years of plenty, 7 years of famine, days of Pharaoh and Joseph. And I believe that that's what God has planned to feed his people. And you get it by going to josephskitchen.com. 3 steps. First, you want to get a machine package. Second, you want to order 6 ingredients and watch some videos, download the recipes to be able to make the bread. josephskitchen.com. Most of your longtime storage food, emergency food, all of that. Typically, you're talking $9,000, $10,000 to feed one person for a year. Joseph's Kitchen can show you how to do it for around $1,000 a person, and your kids will actually eat it, and it's actually good for you. Here's some bread that I made. In my case, I lost weight, lowered my blood pressure, gives me more energy. I eat a morning, slice in the morning, slice in the afternoon, always a slice before I go play racquetball. Go check it out, josephskitchen.com. If you're watching Prophecy Club, you're a watchman. And if you're a watchman, God wants to make you a soul winner. And the way to do that is get prepared to be teaching a lot of people, because a lot of people about to be asking questions when some of this trouble hits. My suggestion, order a special Watchman's package. Here's what you get. You get 2-foot by 3-foot color charts, great big charts. Also, you get my handwritten book of the book of Revelation right here with all of my mistakes, everything right here in it, okay? And you get that, and it has all of my comments, what I thought about this verse, that verse. And also you get 5 DVDs of me teaching through most of Daniel or most of Revelation. You get 5 copies of Secret Door to Understand Bible Prophecy, valued $355, all for gifts of $200. The charts allow you to teach it to a group of people. You're going to need it. prophecyclub.com. When the suitcase nukes, I didn't say if, I said when the suitcase nukes go off, if you want your car to start, if you want your computers and your refrigerators and things like that, anything with a computer chip to work, you want to have one of these from EMPShield.com. EMPShield.com. And they have videos up there. It takes about 10 minutes to put on. It's not complicated at all. And if you use the word prophecy, promo code prophecy, you get a $50 discount, and it helps your Prophecy Club.
In a world of uncertainty, be prepared with Silver Prepper Bars, your ultimate hedge against political instability and economic turmoil. Introducing the Silver Prepper Bar, crafted from 0.999 pure silver and proudly made in the USA. This tangible, divisible asset can come in handy even in the toughest of times. Portable, perforated, and easily tradable, the Silver Prepper Bar is your lifeline in times of crisis. When facing inflation, currency devaluation, and financial meltdown, Silver Prepper Bars provide peace of mind. Don't wait for disaster to strike. Secure your future today with the exclusive Silver Prepper Bar, the only silver bar on the market divisible into 3 different size pieces for maximum utility, all while fitting in your wallet. The smart choice for savvy investors and preppers alike. With Silver Prepper Bars, you're ready for whatever tomorrow brings. As gold and silver prices continue to surge and top economists predict upcoming shortages, now is the time to secure your precious metals in the form of Prepper Bars, the only bar on the market divisible into 3 sizes for maximum utility. Place your order before supply runs out and prices go up. Proudly made in the USA. Silver Prepper Bars, ready for whatever tomorrow brings. Order now.